no details. And I will give you what I have, because some people can look at the truth in their face and still not believe it. You will look past a man of faith, or so you believe him to be, and believe him, his denial, and when he tries to tell you what you see is not what you see. I know, because I've been a minister there, and that was the environment that was created. You know, you see what I tell you you see. You hear what I tell you you heard. Don't trust your own thoughts. I'm the only one with vision here. And I believed everything this man said. But let's be honest. He didn't make me do anything. I went into this willingly. I stayed in there way longer than I ever anticipated. I was in love with this man. I always wanted to protect him at any cost. So here I am, falling on my sword, just hurting myself. This thing began over 6 years ago. I had been celibate for 13 years prior to this man calling me into his office, asking me if I had dreams about him. And at this point I had shared that with somebody. And here he comes asking me, and I'm thinking, oh my God, this man knows my dreams. He knows my thoughts. Yes, I have. You know, I'm being honest with him. And that's when he started talking about, oh, we'll mess around and all three of us be having sex around here, me, you, and my wife. And at this point, I had been with married men before in my past, and it wasn't who I was anymore. So he knew how to come at me, and I fell for it. I've been accused of searching for something. And at that point I was, and I fell for it. And he would come into the finance office and say, let me touch your butt, or give me a kiss, or you better come here. And I liked the attention. And it evolved where we were going to the hotel a couple times a week. And things escalated, and it just became a routine. And I was in love with this man, not because of he was a pastor, but because he was giving me something that I had been wanting for a while, just that intimacy. So many things have transpired. I found out that I haven't been the only one within those 6 years, that there was somebody else, and he probably was seeing us at the same time. Well, he was. Like, I'm talking about same nights. Like, you go to one, you come to me, and then you go to your wife. Can you imagine what this was doing to his ego? And I was blinded. I probably saw some signs and didn't even want to admit it, because I just wouldn't believe that he would do that to me. But this was me being stupid, because if he did it to his wife, he'd do it to me. I didn't realize that I was just part of his sport. And he would say some horrible things to me. And, you know, looking back on it, I can't believe I allowed it. But I was so blinded. I'm putting this out here because there are people who, like I said, they won't believe the truth when they hear it, because they're so enamored by this man that he has become their God. Because I put this man before my faith, before my salvation. I was willing to take this secret to the grave. I never would have said anything. But in the past year, how he was so dismissive to me made me feel like I was nobody. I had suicidal ideations. I lost myself. Here he is walking around like his poop don't stink, like he's untouchable. And I have lost so much. Like I said, I lost myself. I didn't even like the girl that I was, because he played so many mind games. 6 years, I wasn't attracted to anybody else. I believed everything he said. I allowed him to just show up at my door, and I was always ready. I was always ready. He told me I was his only proclivity, that he had not been with anybody outside his wife. So of course that made me feel special. You know, here I am 50 years old and I'm being manipulated like crap. I'm a minister in this church. Well, I was. And I believe that ordination was given to me to control me. I believe that my position on the worship team was to control me. When I was doing something that he didn't like, oh, don't put her on the schedule or put her in this position. And I got tired of it. When I tell you my mental health was compromised, I was a mess. Here I am, a mental health counselor that needs a mental health counselor. When I found out that I was one of a few women, I realized that I had to expose this, that I had to let God's people know who he is. I was hurt, but if he was willing to deceive his wife, who am I? I'm just one of many. And I know that there are probably more people out there, more women who are afraid. But I promise you the truth will set you free. Yeah, I've had moments where I wished I had just kept my mouth shut. Just left the church and died with my secret. But my secret was killing me. If he made me feel like this, and I'm a woman of faith, what about the other women that he manipulated and was with? Are they strong enough to get through this? I'm just speaking my truth because he's hurt enough people. He's hurt enough people with his narcissistic behavior, men and women alike. He's hurt women. He's lied. He has gone above and beyond lying, like a master manipulator. A master manipulator. He cannot say that I forced him to do anything. Yeah, he preyed on women's weaknesses. He knew how to get into their heads. And I'm so ashamed to say that I fell for it. But I'm tired of crying. I'm tired of watching him with this arrogant attitude like he's untouchable. He never thought I would say anything because I remember him telling me, if people found out, they would hate you. Or it's bigger than you. Don't be selfish. You know, think about people's salvation, their faith. And I always wanted to protect him. And that's what I did. Until declare that this will be my last night missing out on sleep because of this. This is just a follow-up to my video where I spoke my truth, because I felt like I needed to come back and tell God's people that I did do the right thing. I did what was biblically correct. I confessed my sins to God, and I also went to his wife and I confessed my sins before her, and I asked for her forgiveness. I invited her to my house along with a witness who was there for the whole thing. My last day at church was Mother's Day, and I told his wife the day after Mother's Day. I told her everything. I told her how it started. I gave her details from beginning to end. I let her say what she needed to say to me because I felt like I owed her that. I had lied to her. I had been her friend. I had deceived her. I had deceived my friends, people in the church, because I was in an adulterous affair with this man, Mr. HALLBACK, from 2014 until 2020. I told her everything. I gave her details. Like I said, I let her ask questions. At one point, she pulled out her phone and she said she was going to take notes. She asked for specific dates, specific details, and I gave her all of that. She gave me some body blows with her words too, and I expected that. And I let her have that moment. And it was one of the toughest situations I've ever been in. But I brought it to her because I wanted her to know. I wanted her to know that I deceived her as her friend, as a minister, but so had he. During these 6 years, I remember him saying, "Man, I don't know how you do that. You know, like, how do you just be in her face and smile and act like everything is okay?" I guess the same way that he was able to. But this was the mind game that he played with me. I told her how my physical health has been compromised because, like a fool, we never use protection. And now I'm having to go get checked and monitored to make sure that what's going on with me doesn't turn into cervical cancer. I was just stupid, y'all. I'm too old for this, but here I am. But I'm grateful that God didn't allow me to die in my sin. And I've come forward because I've been labeled as a liar. He has told the people of God that these are slanderous accusations. But none of what I'm saying is a lie. All of this happened. And when I told her about my health issues, she said, "Well, I'm sorry about your health issues, but I'm fine. I get checked regularly." And I didn't understand that. Like, why do you get checked regularly if he's never done this before? If he's never cheated on you? But she said, I know how men are. And like I said, I told her everything. I allowed her to get the screenshots of different text messages. I was an open book. And I let her have all of that. And she told me, yeah, I need to get screenshots. Because at one point she left after we had this whole conversation. And she texted me and she said, I'm coming back. Now, at this point, I'm thinking she's about to fight me. You know, and she would have been justified in that. But no, she came back to get receipts to see what I had. Because she told me that he would make me out to be delusional. And that's exactly what he's trying to do. But I'm not going to be bullied. I'm not going to be intimidated. I really thought he had at least a bit of decency left, that he would go before the people, but I guess he figures that God's people can't even grasp the concept of forgiveness. He had so many opportunities to stand before the people and tell the truth. Say that he repented. Ask for forgiveness and move forward. Let the people decide what they're going to do with the truth. But if it's never presented to them, how do you allow them to forgive? There are people who won't agree with how I'm doing this. I've been accused of being vengeful, but I am standing on my truth. I am urging the people of God to open up your eyes and see this man for who he is. He's had so many opportunities to make this right, to come forward and tell the truth. But instead, they both decided to tell the people that I'm lying. Even did a whole sermon about me without naming my name. I'm just praying for everybody involved. I'm praying that you won't be deceived, that you will stop enabling this man, because you've been urged not to talk about it. You've been urged to keep your mouth shut. Who is he to tell you not to talk about something? But when you don't hold him accountable, when you allow him to stay in the position that he's in, knowing that there's a possibility that he will do this again, I think you hold some accountability as well. I know he rules by intimidation. This man is a textbook narcissist. I'm tired of crying. I just wanted to put this out here. I won't talk about it publicly anymore. I'm not going to keep being in reaction mode. But I'm not going to allow him to keep victimizing me every time he comes out with something or says something. I feel like I'm just being attacked. I've been victim shamed. Yeah, I messed up. Yeah, I did something that was morally wrong. But you're not going to keep attacking me. I'm going to stand on my truth. And I pray, Mr. HALLBACK, that you will too. Every time that we were together, it was both of us initiating it. You came to my house. You pulled up in front of my house. You're so sure of yourself. You even came to my house one time in a robe and slippers, because that's how sure you were of yourself.